Hi guys. Okay, finally it's story time. I'm sorry. It's one of those do not feel like putting makeup on days. I just don't have the energy, and I still have a lot of things to throw away, and I just not looking forward to today. But I know I have to get the story time out. So, as you know, or some people might not know, I was a heroin addict. This was 22 years ago. And to support my habit, me and my boyfriend at the time would steal from stores. And I had been arrested 5, 6 times for misdemeanor thefts. Well, when he got arrested and finally had to get sent to county, I was out there on my own, and I started hanging around with his friend. I knew him from my husband a while back. I also knew him from when I used to just hang around in bars, my pre-drug days. So I hooked up with him because I was left alone out on the streets. Now, my boyfriend always told me, make sure it's under, I think it was $500 or you'll catch a felony. But he wasn't as careful with me, and he talked me into stealing this like $599 computer. And he set me in with someone else, and he said, he'll watch out for you, don't worry about it. He didn't care. He knew me from school, but he didn't care if I got busted or not. And sure enough, I got busted. So I go to county. Well, first I went to jail in the city we were in, and I stayed there overnight. Then I went to county and I got processed. And the next morning I was going to, which I thought would be my jail cell, which is what I wanted. I just wanted to be in a 2 or 4 bed jail cell, so I could hang in there all day and not have to deal with anybody. And as it turned out, all these other girls are going in those things, and they stopped with me, and she said my last name. I'm going to call myself Santana. And they said, Santana, you're going in the dorm. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're going in the crazy dorm. And that scared me right off the bat. They open up the door, I walk in, and it's a big ass room with, I don't know, I'm not sure the number. I'm going to say there was at least 60 bunk beds, and there's probably more than that. But I'm saying there's probably 60 to 80 women, all looking at me, and there's probably more than that. I always get dry lips when I talk, and I immediately start to freak. Don't forget I have social anxiety. But being out drinking and doing drugs calmed it down. I have nothing now. So they give me my bed, and thank God it was right by the CO and her desk. So I felt a little safer because I was like in the first row of all these beds, and it was a big square. And I'm going to die. I know it. But at that time, I was too sick. I was going through alcohol withdrawal and heroin withdrawal. So I stayed mostly in my bed. Only got up to go to the bathroom, throw up. I had the runs, and I got up to take a shower. I did not want to, but I knew I had to because I knew I would stink if I didn't. And it was hard enough the first time because they're metal toilets, and everybody could see. And the CO's desk is, when you walk in the door, it's to my right. And then also to the right, just a few feet away, are the toilets. And it's just in a little, like, indentation. And if you're talking to the CO, you just had to back up a few steps and you could just see the bathrooms. And the male COs would come in and talk to them, the COs, or drop somebody off or something. And if you were sitting on the one toilet, they could see you. And they didn't care. If you were sitting there and they saw you, that was it. And then behind there were the showers, also no curtains or anything. You just were buck naked. And, you know, you had absolutely no privacy. I was not used to that. So, after my 7 days, if you start barking, I'm going to kill you, because I am not starting this video over again. So, I finally got up. Be quiet. I'm sorry. I started this video over so many times. I started to get up and walk just around. Keep in mind, okay, I'm 5'2", 105 pounds. Not now. Way over that. And I'm a little tiny Puerto Rican girl amongst probably over 55 black women. And these black women were tough. And there was a fight, there was an argument at least twice a day, every day. And an actual fight at least twice a week, sometimes more. And we were always getting sent back to our bunks. And then the male COs would come in, the higher ups would come in, take them away, send them to wherever they sent them. And that's why they call it the crazy pot. And you know, I was scared to death in there. I was probably the smallest one. I think there was 2 or 3 maybe smaller girls in there too. But I was pretty much by far the skinniest one in there. And, you know, I was scared, so I hovered over to the group of girls that sat, you know, the ones that looked to be the friendliest ones. The ones that were, like, laughing all the time, playing cards and stuff. And then they eventually invited me over, and I would sit there and play cards with them the majority of the day. So, like I said, there was, like, fights and arguments all the time, and I was just always panicking. Well, they would call us up to eat. We'd get in line. I'm not a good storyteller. They would get in line by sections. And one time my section was finally called first. And I was starving that day, and they were running late. So the girls were cranky because they were late. We got in line. There was probably 10 girls in front of me from our section. And this one huge troublemaking girl got in front of me. And, well, she got in front of my section. Let's put it that way. There was like 4 or 5 girls in front of me. And she just blatantly walked up, cut in front of them. And you can hear people in back going, hey, you know, not real loud and stuff. I said, hey, she cut. And she turned around and she looked back. She goes, who said that? And everybody turned around and looked directly at me. And I had no choice but to say, I did. I said, we're starving too. And I'm dying inside because I know I'm going to get my ass beat. If not now, it's going to be later. And she went, And she just looked at me the whole time she's walking back. I don't know where she went in back of me. I was hoping it wasn't directly in back of me. And she just went and never said anything to me. And the girl in front of me, she goes, oh my God, you could have got your ass beat. I said, I know. And let it go. She never said anything to me, never did anything to me. And then another time, I forgot what it was. There was another time something like that happened, and me can't keep my mouth shut. Probably because I'm Puerto Rican and my mom was the same way. I said something, and they turned around, looked at me, and just kind of like shook their head and walked away. And everybody got quiet when I said it. And it was like one of those things where you could hear a pin drop. They walked away from me. Didn't say shit, never said anything again. One time we were eating breakfast, and you had to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I am not an early riser. And we ate our breakfast, and we were allowed to go back to sleep for like an hour and a half or something. But the girls 2 sections over decided they're going to have like a party, and they're going to be loud and laugh and tell jokes and all that shit. Well, I was getting pissed, and I said, could you guys be quiet? And as soon as it left my mouth, I was like, oh, fuck. And I could hear them like, what the fuck? And someone said, who the fuck said that? And I said, I did. And they said, who's I? And I said, my last name, I'll say Santana. And okay, well, as long as it's you, we'll be quiet. And I was like, okay, thank you. I couldn't go back to sleep because I was scared to go back to sleep. And then we got called for church. I decided it was, Catholic mass or whatever they called it. I'm not Catholic, but I wanted to get out of there. And they did a roll call, right? He calls out the names, and then he looks, he goes, Santana. And he goes, Santana? And I raise my hands, and he goes like this. And I was like, what? He goes, you're going to be good, right? I said, yeah. And he says, okay. Now I'm starting to think, what the fuck is this? Because anybody else in that pod or the dorm that would raise, that would start something, there was a fight. Nobody mouthed off to anyone else without a big argument or a fight. And another time, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to get into all that. The arguing, the fighting, and, people had trays thrown at them, drinks thrown at them. And I went to the doctor because they said, anybody need to go to the doctor? Again, I wanted to get out of there. What's your excuse? What's your problem? I got an earache. I think I got a buildable wax. I can't hear good. It wasn't true. So, but I just thought, what the hell? I'm going to go anyway. So I go, and they call. Be quiet, please. Will you people let me make a fucking video? So I go in, they call my name, and one CO goes, who's Santana? Which one? And they come around the corner, he goes, that's Santana. And he goes, that's Santana? And he goes, yeah. And he looks at the name, and he said, you're so-and-so Santana? I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, wow. Again, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on here? And this whole time I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? So I wrote my boyfriend, who was, like I said, in county, and I explained everything to him, and he wrote back. Even though we're in the same jail, we have to stamp the letter. It has to get sent out, then it has to get sent back. So it took a while, and he goes, that's weird. Because I thought maybe he made up a story or something to watch out for me. But they didn't. Now, I wasn't the only older person in it. There was like maybe 3 or 4 people in their 40s there. They didn't get special treatment. There was a big fight between 2 of the older women. And they both got sent to solitary or something. So I didn't understand, what the fuck was going on. And, the last time it happened, there was I didn't like sitting in front of the CO. I did not like it. You couldn't sleep at night because sometimes, like, the other COs would come to the door and they'd sit there and bullshit, and I'd get woke up. I couldn't go back to sleep. I hated it. And I was talking to one of the girls, and I was saying, I hated that. I want to go back in the corner where everything's quiet and stuff, and where the heaters are so I could be warmer. And she told me about a girl that was leaving. And the corner seats are like really cool because there's like a table right there in the corner, and you get to sit there first. A lot of good things about that corner area. And there was a girl leaving. Everybody wanted that corner seat. I could hear them all the time going, when so and so leaves, can we get that seat? They'll say, we'll see, we'll see. And um, this girl comes up to me. She goes, I'm leaving tomorrow. Um, I'm going to be leaving in the morning. You want that seat, right? Or you want that cot, right? I said, yeah. And she goes, it's up on the top, though. And I was like, okay. But I figured it's better than nothing. I'll try it. So then when she leaves, I found out that the girl that slept on the bottom told the CEO, she'll take the top and I can have the bottom. And I actually got it. And even though the other girls were pissed, they never started shit with me. And I know it sounds like kind of like a boring story, but I was treated like I was either something to be afraid of, or someone to be afraid of, or somebody that was supposed to be treated good for some reason. And I never found out why. Now, it might be a boring story to you, but with women getting things thrown at them and in arguments all the time for basically no reason, for all the things, and there was a lot of other things that I did where I should have, at least gotten into an argument over. Nobody ever said shit to me. Nobody. And I don't understand why. So those 6 months I went through without a problem at all, where other people, other girls, had their hair pulled, had been pushed, had been, every time they walked past this girl, they'd be called names and stuff. And I don't understand what happened. You guys got any ideas what might have happened? Again, maybe it sounded like a boring story to you, but to this day, I still wonder why I never got in trouble for anything I did. Why nobody argued with me or kicked my ass for opening up my mouth, which I did a lot. Like I said, I was scared to death. I was little, it's tiny, but I have a habit of opening up my mouth when I shouldn't. Got any ideas? I'm sorry if the story time wasn't exciting, but it's something that always bothered me. Why didn't they come after me like they went after the other women? That's all. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.